Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for coming. This week's Parsha is Parashat Korach. Everyone knows Korach. He led a rebellion against Moshe Rabbeinu. He had a bunch of complaints. He said Moshe was taking leadership. He said that he was deserving to also be the Kohen Gadol. Why is Aaron chosen? So Moshe Rabbeinu was, arguing with him. First he wanted to, talk it out with him. And one of the things that the Midrash says Moshe said was, Boker v'yoda Hashem et asher lo. Moshe told Korach, he said, in the morning Hashem will make known the one who is his own. Meaning Hashem in the morning is going to basically tell us who really deserves to be Kohen Gadol. And the Midrash explains, why did he say in the morning? Because Moshe was telling him, just like you cannot switch the boundaries of day and night, so too if Aharon was chosen to be Kohen Gadol, you cannot be Kohen Gadol. Hashem decides certain things to be part of nature. Hashem said day is day, night is night. So too Aaron is Kohen Gadol, you will not be Kohen Gadol. So Zera Shimshon has two questions on this Midrash. So number one is, why do we have to wait till the morning to realize that day is day and night is night? Right now, when Moshe was speaking to Korach, it was during the day. Because one of the things that Moshe told him was, we cannot do the Ketoret. You know how they did the test to see who is the right Kohen Gadol? Anyone know?
Depends.
What do they do? Depends.
Or the fire is going to come down.
Exactly. They put Ketoret, they did a certain offering to Hashem, and whoever the fire is going to come down and take their offering of Hashem, that's the one who's supposed to be Kohen Gadol. And that's what happened in the morning. But why couldn't they do it that same day? Because Moshe Rabbeinu said, you cannot do Avodah in the Beit HaMikdash closer to Mincha. Why? Because you're still drunk from the daytime meal, from the wine. Or we assume that maybe the Kohen's going to be drunk. So he said, let's wait till the morning. So we see from there that it was happening during the day. The argument between Korach and Moshe Rabbeinu was happening during the daytime. So why couldn't he just say, okay, we'll see by the night. Once the night comes, I'll prove to you that night is night and day is day. And therefore, Aaron is Kohen Gadol, you are not Kohen Gadol. Why do we have to wait specifically till the morning to realize that day is day and night is night? That's question number one. Question number two is, forget all this. Why do we even care? What does day and night have to do with Moshe Rabbeinu telling him you're not Kohen Gadol? What's the connection between the day, the night, the sun, the moon, and Korach's arguments? If you're going to tell me, they're drunk, they don't know what they were saying, then why is Moshe Rabbeinu having a conversation with a drunk person? Forget them. Oh, that's why you told him to wait till the morning. No. What's really going on in this conversation? And why is Moshe Rabbeinu bringing up day and night, sun and the moon? So, the Zera Shimshon says something beautiful. This is a very deep concept, extremely deep. And if we take this lesson into our hearts, we can be our own leaders. We're going to see why. There's a Midrash in Parashat Bereshit. It says, Ve'et kochavim, Hashem created, we know, two great luminaries, the Pasuk says. Luminaries means the sun and the moon. So there's two great luminaries, the sun and the moon. And Hashem took one of the luminaries, the sun, and he placed it to rule over the day. And then he took the second luminary, which was the moon, and he placed it over the nighttime. And then who got the host of the stars? Who got the company of the stars?
Moon.
The moon.
But not until it got reduced. Apparently there were no stars. Did you know that? There was only the sun and the moon.
Yes.
Stars didn't exist.
But the stars came later.
Stars came later, yeah.
So we're going to see. This has to do with...
Oh, that's what we're going to talk about.
Something like that, yes. We're going to see why. So, Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ho'il ulvana zu mi'ata atzma. Now, the moon lowered himself, like what you're saying. The moon took itself, and it lowered itself, and he let the sun take over the day, and then he went to the nighttime, which is not as great. He doesn't have as much power. So because of that, Hashem said, I'm going to give you the stars. Because you lowered yourself, and you humbled yourself, and you said, I'm only going to rule over the night. Who got the day? The sun got the day. So the sun has more power, the moon lowered himself, he humbled himself. Hashem said, I'm going to reward you. What am I going to reward you with? He created the stars. When the moon rises, what comes up with it? The stars. When the moon sets, what goes down? What fades away into the sky? The stars. The stars are only with the moon, they're not with the sun. And we see the similar concept by a person named Yoktan. In Parashat Noach, it goes through the generations in between Noach and Avraham Avinu. One of them, we know Shem and Ever. You know those two people? Ever had 2 kids. Their names were Peleg and Yoktan. Peleg was older, Yoktan was the second brother. Peleg, I think, only had 2 kids. Yoktan had 13 nations come out of him. 13 kids created 13 nations. Why? What's the root of the word Yoktan? Which word could you get from Yoktan? Katan. What does Katan mean? Small. Since Yoktan humbled himself and he was smaller and he didn't have so much gava, he merited to have 13 nations come out of him. So anyone with the name Katanov, same exact thing. Yoktan, Katanov. He's not here today. But yeah, Yoktan was basically allusion that since he was Katan, since he was small, Hashem said, I'm going to give you the reward to have great descendants come out of you. And the same thing with the moon. Since it lowered itself, it reduced itself to only be the moon, not as great as the sun, Hashem said, I'm going to reward you with what? With kochavim balayla, with stars in the nighttime. So the mashra shebizchut shelevana me'ata atzma yeshta uchlasasha kochavim lichvoda velo ken hashemesh. The sun, however, did not get this special reward because the sun was haughty. The sun said, I'm ruling over the day. Afa pishu gadol mimena. Who's technically greater, the sun or the moon?
Technically, the sun.
Technically, the sun is greater. So then why does the moon get the kavod? Why does the moon get the honor to be followed with the whole entourage of stars? Because it lowered himself. And same thing with this guy, Yoktan. Since he lowered himself, he also merited to have 13 nations come out of him. So now we have to apply this lesson to Korach. This is what Moshe Rabbeinu was telling Korach. Moshe Rabbeinu said, you know why you're not Kohen Gadol? You know why you're not the leader of the tribe of Levi? If you remember, what was the argument that Korach had with Moshe? One of the points. He said he had a cousin. His cousin's name was Eli Tzafan. Heard of this name ever? Eli Tzafan was the cousin of Korach and Moshe Rabbeinu. They were all cousins. They came from Levi, in the tribe of the family of Kehat. Levi had a child. His name was Kehat. Kehat came out 4 children. One of them was Amram, which was Moshe's father. And all these cousins, one of them were appointed, his name was Eli Tzafan, to be the prince of Levi. Korach got jealous. He said, I am higher up in the family tree. I deserve to be the prince of the tribe of Levi. How come Moshe Rabbeinu picked my younger cousin Eli Tzafan to be the prince? This was his argument. So, lekach amar lo Moshe, therefore Korach was told by Moshe, lidvarecha shegdulot olchot achar gedolim ken, hashemesh tzarich lekochavim. He says, according to you, who deserves greatness? Who deserves high status? According to Korach. If you are greater, you deserve to be the leader. You deserve greatness if you're greater, if you're bigger. Korach says, I'm bigger. So he says, look at the sun. The sun who is greater than the moon. Yes, the sun has greater shining. The sun is more bright. It's bigger. So if it's bigger, then what happens? Why doesn't it have the stars around him? Why isn't it the leader of the Kochavim? Moshe is telling him, you make no sense. According to your logic, the stars should come out with the sun, not with the moon. So he said, let's look, tomorrow morning, are the stars going to come out with the sun, or are they not? If the stars come out with the sun, you will become the leader, you will become the prince. If the suns are going to come out with the moon only, you will lose your title. Because who deserves to have leadership? The people who humble themselves. And he says, you, Korach, you're not humbling yourself. If you go right now, demand kavod. Let's say a guy goes into the shul and says, I want to be the president of the shul. Is he demanding kavod? If he says, I want to be the rabbi over here because I want people to stand up for me. What's he doing? He's demanding kavod. So he tells Korach, if anything, you're the opposite. You have gava. You think you're greater, you're like the sun. And the sun has no stars around it. The sun does not deserve to be the leader. Do you hear this lesson? You hear this lesson, this powerful lesson he's telling to Korach. V'zeu shamru begamara, sha'alu shemesh yarech lizvul. And it says that the sun and the moon both went up to Shemayim. They both went up to the heavenly abode. And they went to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and they said like this, Hashem, you better make Moshe Rabbeinu win. Because if Moshe doesn't win, our whole purpose makes no sense. Because the sun tells Hashem, why don't I have the stars? It's not fair. If you're going to make Korach the leader, if you're going to justify Korach's claim, and you're going to make him the prince of the tribe of Levi, then what are you doing? You're telling me the sun, I deserve stars. Give me the stars. And same thing with the moon. The moon says, you know why I humbled myself? Because there's a rule. You can never have two kings under one crown. How is it like having three bosses? Do they know how to run the business? Yeah? But each one is its own king. Let's say one wants to do one thing, another wants to do another, and then the other guy wants to do another. How do they deal with it?
They have to come to a
Conclusion. But usually a king, what does a king mean? King's not a boss. Boss could say something, not everyone has to follow. A king says a verdict, says the verdict. A king is a ruler. So he said you cannot have two rulers in the sky. Only one. So what did the moon do? I'm going to humble myself. The moon said, I'm going to give up the crown for the sun. I'm going to make the sun greater. I'm going to give the sun its power, its shine, and I'm going to become lower. And because of that, what?
Didn't the moon get punished? That's why it became lower? Like, that's why it...
So there's always many explanations, but one of them is that he humbled himself. He gave up the crown for the sun. Some say he purposely did that so that he became lower. Many different explanations. So the feed of Ram Yochalim liyot shnei malachim shavim. And now the moon says, you know, how many people did Korach have in his assembly? 250. You know, each one of these 250 people wanted to be Kohen Gadol. Can you imagine that? Each one said, we're going to be Kohen Gadol. So they made an agreement between all of them. We will all be the Kohen Gadolim. Which makes no sense. The moon says, you cannot have 250 people doing the same great position. And if you're going to allow Korach to win, and allow all 250 of them to be Kohen Gadol, then he says, why did I have to give up my position in the sky? Why couldn't I be joining forces with the sun? So both the sun and the moon had claims against Hashem if they would make Korach win. So they said, better be Moshe Rabbeinu, better win tomorrow. And the earth, we know at the end of the day, swallowed up, opened up, and swallowed Korach. But what's the lesson we have to see from what Moshe is telling Korach? He's telling Korach, if you want to become a leader with followers, if you want to become a ruler with subjects, and a king with a nation, what do you have to do? You have to humble yourself. A person who thinks he's so big, he thinks he's the sun, he's bright, he picks himself tall, he does everything in his power to make people serve him, what's he really doing? He's putting the kavod away from him. You want to gain status, you want to be the leader of a company, you want to be CEO, you want to become a rabbi, Rosh Hashiva, in whatever category that you want people to follow you, the only way people follow a person is when you become a nava. When you're an anav, then you have the people's following. Who is the greatest leader in the times of the Jewish people ever in history? Moshe Rabbeinu. We came out of Mitzrayim. We were freed from being slaves. He led us in the desert. We got the Torah, and he brought us all the way to Eretz Yisrael. He was the greatest leader we ever had. And what does it say about him? He was the most humblest person on planet Earth to ever have lived. Because leadership comes with humbleness. You want to be great, you want people to follow you, you must be humble. And there's a beautiful story I saw in the Ben Ish Chai. I have this book, it has a lot of stories from it. And the story goes like this. There was a king who had a certain minister. His name was, this Jewish guy, his name was Danny. Okay? So this Jewish minister, Danny, he was the treasurer. He had all the money, he had the safe to all the important documents. He was very trusted by the king. Minister Danny. Now there was a second minister, a wicked guy. He didn't like the Jewish minister. His name was Frank. So Minister Frank, he went along and he wanted to, mess up the Jewish guy. So how did he do it? He went to his servant, the Jewish minister's servant. Got that? So the minister's servant, he went up to him and he said, Mr. Servant, we'll call him Maishi. Maishi, you know your master, Danny? Go to him and steal the key to the safe, take it from his pocket. Go to the safe, take out the documents, these confidential documents. Bring them to me, I'm going to give you money. So there goes the slave, and he steals the documents from his master's safe, brings them to the wicked Goyish minister, and the Goyish minister, Frank, he reads the documents, he picks up one of the secrets of the king that the king didn't want anyone to know, and he goes to the king and he says, he's in the middle of a conversation with him, he's talking, he's speaking about, current events, how the king's taking over the world, and he drops one of the secrets just randomly. And the king's like, what? How do you know that secret? I thought it was confidential. So he says, you know who told me? Minister Dan. You're a minister, you're a Jewish guy. He tells all your secrets to everybody. The king was furious. The king is like, I'm going to finish this guy. But I'm going to finish him. I can't just go right now and kill a minister in front of everybody. I'm going to do it in a sly way. What's the sly way? I'm going to try to kill him without him knowing that I killed him. And the executioner will not know who he killed. How did he devise the plan? He said, I'm going to send him with a letter. I'm going to write in the letter. I'm going to send him to Fort, let's say, Taden. Go to Fort Taden. And over there, the captain, I'm going to write to the letter, Captain, kill the man holding this letter. And I'm going to tell the minister, don't read the letter. I have a special mission for this captain in this fort. Go deliver him the letter. So you understand what's happening here? He's telling the minister to take this letter, has a special mission. Don't read it. Give it to the captain. The captain of the fort, the second he's going to open it up, he's going to read the letter, he's going to kill the guy holding it. And that was his plan. So he goes to the Jewish minister, he hands him over a letter and he says, special mission. Go to the fort. So he goes on his way, and on the way there, he stops by a village. And by the village, a certain Jew comes out, and he says, Mr. Minister, apparently this minister was a Mohel. So he said, I know you're a Mohel. Please come do the Brit Milah for my son. I called the Mohel didn't come. We need to do it on the 8th day. It's almost Shki already. So he says, okay, fine, I'm going to do it. So he does the Brit, and he knows he has to already send the message to the captain. So he takes his servant, the guy who betrayed him, and he said, go deliver the message to the captain. Go take the letter. So he's there doing the Brit, and of course he stays for the Sudat Mitzvah after, and he's chilling, and he's eating through the night, and he leaves at midnight, Chatzot HaLayla, and he travels all the way to the fort. By sunrise, he is already there. Captain comes out, he sees the great minister coming, and he says, Minister Dan, I have done your mission. Why do you have to come here? Don't worry, I took care of it. He said, what? He said, don't worry, I killed the guy holding the message, I killed him. And the guy is confused, the Jewish guy. You killed him. And he explains, he's like, yes. Right before I killed him, he even admitted. He said that he betrayed his master. He stole the keys to your safe. And he stole the documents and gave it to Goyish Minister Frank. And now this Jewish guy's like, wow, I understand everything that's happening. The king thought that I betrayed him. So he wanted to kill me. So he says to the captain, he says, I'm going to mention you good to the king. Don't worry, you're going to get a lot of credit. He goes back to the palace, and the king sees him, and he's like, what are you doing here? Why are you still alive? And he tells him the whole story. And he tells the king, and even if you want to see I'm right, go send the FBI to this minister Frank's house, the Goyish minister, and you're going to see over there, search his house in Mar-a-Lago, you're going to find the confidential papers, all the documents. And he goes ahead, sends the FBI over there, they caught the papers, and he hung the minister. So what do we see from here? We see when we humble ourselves to Hashem's command, he had other ideas, right? He wanted to go deliver the message to the captain. The king told him to do something. But what did he do? He said, Hashem right now wants me to do a brit. I'm going to humble myself to the command of God. Hashem's avodah comes first. When we humble ourselves to Hashem, we're going to realize that everything in life is just going to fall into place for us. We're going to have hashgacha pratit in everything we do. And B'ezrat Hashem, we will become the leaders in our communities, in the Jewish nation, and everyone will be following in our footsteps. Baruch Adonai La'olam. Amen. Amen.